Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of Couch Co-op. I am Riley, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host Cal.
Oh boy, howdy, do we got stuff to talk about.
Yes, we
You
do.
know, we we uh we started this just want to talk about a lot of things, but we're talking a lot of COD,
Oh yeah, this
which
episode, yeah.
we're I feel like we were both trying to get away from a little bit because
Hmm.
Activision is terrible and they're ruining everything.
Yeah.
But this week they got into it even worse. I have a genuine question for you.
Hmm.
Name one game game production company that you trust less than Activision.
Less than
Can you
Activision.
do it?
Oh
Can you
boy.
do it?
I I guess I'd have to say like Activision Blizzard as a whole.
Right, right.
Because of how they handle the Diablo franchise, Diablo
Oh
Immortal.
yeah.
I think
Right.
you're familiar with that,
Oh
but
yeah. Yep.
yeah, just Activision Blizzard as a whole, I don't trust at all, not one
You
bit.
know, as I was thinking about tonight, what we were talking about this topic, I asked myself that same question, and I honestly could not think of a game company that I trust less than Activision, or that I
Hmm.
trust more to screw up. Whichever way you want to look at it, it's essentially the same thing there.
Yeah.
So, for any of you who don't know, there was a free to play project called SM2 that a bunch of developers were getting together on. And honestly, this would have saved the Call of Duty community. But Activision cannot have that. We can't have the Call of Duty community back together and playing one game together.
No, 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 no.
So this was a highly anticipated, I guess you could call it a mod, but developers went in, they pulled all the assets from a bunch of different Call of Duty games, and they mashed it all into one game. Did you ever, well, I probably didn't play it. Not many people got to play it, but did you ever hear of the Call of Duty Online?
Oh yeah, Call of Duty Online. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Crazy, crazy game. By the way, just like
Oh, yeah.
how absurd like the weapons and stuff are in there. Yeah,
So
just bonkers game.
this was basically meant to be, this side of the world, because the Call of Duty Online was mainly a China thing. I tried for weeks to get into that. It is
Really?
so hard to get into because rather it was short of actually paying, because you have to have a person from China ID to actually sign up for their, I guess it would be like their main game platform
Really?
that it runs on. So it was really hard and exclusive to get into. I know there was a lot of the bigger YouTubers that got into it, but this was meant to be the Western world's equivalent to that. A bunch of people put all the assets in, and quite honestly, we'll have to roll and post. We'll have to roll some footage of it, but it looks freaking amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of the best like community modded projects I've seen
Yep.
for Call of Duty. Like pretty much for the uninitiated, it's a best of Call of Duty like Call of Duty Online, but it it's not free, but yet you had to buy like the original Modern Warfare 2 to play it.
Yep.
And yeah, like people have been like they weren't even like developers. They were just like guys in their house sitting on Discord building this game over the course of 2 years, and adding maps, modes, guns from the plethora of Call of Duty games that there have been. And Activision just struck it down a few days ago because, well, I have a theory as to why, and I think it's very plausible. And this happened like right after they were going to switch engines because I believe they learned that the Modern Warfare 2 engine was like couldn't like hold like all the stuff that they wanted to put into it. So they were going to switch to the Modern Warfare Remastered engine. And then they told people that they don't have to buy Modern Warfare Remastered to play the game. And that is the reason why I think that Activision struck it down, because they were telling people not to buy the game and that it would be free, period.
That's a good theory.
Yeah.
I would bet you're pretty I didn't know that. I would bet you're
Yeah.
pretty spot on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That's what I think.
it just, like my question, name me a game company that likes to screw their player base over more than Activision Blizzard. You can't do it. Like, you literally cannot find, I couldn't anyways, a game company that screws their players over more. Maybe possibly EA Games,
That's what
but
I was
that's a
thinking.
given.
Yeah.
That's a given.
Oh yeah.
So, I'll read you the tweet from the actual the SM2 Twitter. That today a team member received a cease and desist letter on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the SM2 project. We are complying with the order and shutting down all operations permanently. Thank you for all your support over the past 2 years. So this is 2 years of work.
Yeah.
Like, how dirty is it to wait until it's basically done? Like, because as I understand it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it was basically ready, right?
I'd
Like, I think in the next few months they would be like
I'm not
essentially
sure.
done. I could be wrong. I wasn't following it very closely.
Yeah, me neither. I just know that it was going slow and steady. I'm not sure when like a playable build will be ready for everyone, so I'm not sure on
Yeah.
that.
But essentially 2 years of work down the drain.
Mm,
And
that sucks.
building on your theory, because I think that switching engines probably had something to do with it. I think it being essentially free to play, besides having to own the original game, had a lot to do with it. I think that they see how popular these old games are, and they know for a fact that 60 to 70%, well, I don't know, say 60%, say if you had even 20% of your actual player base for the current COD leave, that's a lot of microtransactions out of their pocket.
And they don't want to do that because that's where
No,
all the revenue comes from these days.
that's where they get their billions.
Oh yeah, but honestly, even like talking about the player numbers, they're in PC players like just pale in comparison to console players. So I feel that like taking it down because of a fear of losing players doesn't really make sense to me because there just isn't that many on the PC. So like even if it was because people weren't going to buy Modern Warfare Remastered, it's still just shocking because they just like to just screw with us at every turn and take everything. And yeah, they want to take more than what's in our wallets, it seems.
It's true. It's true. So I think my thing is, if you look at these modding communities, and I think the zombies community for me is the best example.
Yeah.
There are so many people. I will guess 75% of people that have bought Black Ops 3 on PC on Steam bought it so they could play modded maps.
That's
and
what I
mods in
did.
general.
Yep.
Yep, I did too. Like, I had it on PS4. I didn't need to buy it again. So I think that the issue, what they're thinking is, look, we got to shut this down. We're going to lose potential revenue, which you might, and they probably would. I mean, I'm not going to lie, they probably would have. But I think that letting your community play with the game that you've given them is a really important thing. Black Ops 3 is still, actually, I'll see if I can pull up the numbers, but Black Ops 3 is still a really popular game on Steam, only because of zombies.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, if you like, one of the main reasons SM2 was made is because all of those old games, like multiplayer especially, are just hacked, and you just cannot play it because of hackers. Like Black Ops 2, if you you are literally like gambling between whether you want your identity stolen if you try to play Black Ops 2 public matches.
Oh, seriously. So last 30 days, and it's been pretty consistent, it drops down to about, in November, it was about 2,800 players. So anywhere from 28 to about 6,000 is what I'm seeing active players on Steam. So that's a lot. And the game rarely goes on sale. It's still a $60 game.
Yeah.
So if you take into that account, like you're still selling a lot just because of that. So I don't know. I mean, I get it from a business standpoint, but as far as a standpoint of a consumer, it's terrible.
Yeah. I just these corporations just don't. The problem is that they are corporations, and they don't think about the player. They think about the money only, and they have all these investors that they need to please, and if they don't, it's, well, I honestly don't know. They make billions every year, so I guess they have not displeased their investors, so they don't have to worry about that. But yeah, this is just completely shocking, and I was honestly looking forward to SM2 for a long time. Yeah, it's just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible news.
So, yeah, going along with that, so what do you think? What do you see the backlash being? Backlash, not like Activision is worried about, a few thousand modding players that like the modded lobbies and stuff, but do you see potential backlash?
Well,
Say you personally and just as a community.
Well, here's how I look at it. Kind of going off of like the PC player numbers, like they've been trying to reach like the broader audience for like a long time now, and they've pretty much gotten that. And like the broader audience is just massive compared to this small speck that is the PC modding community. So even if there is like outcry and backlash, it's like Activision is like excellent at ignoring backlash and criticism. So I would just say like things are just gonna go on as if nothing ever happened. It's just gonna be swept under the rug, and that is the end of it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Mhm.
I'd like to think they would look at the player, look at their social medias, and at least take it into account next time there's a project coming up.
Mhm.
Because the next project that's on the chopping block, according to Mr. T Lexify, is Boy, the new Black Ops 3 client that
No.
people have been
Yeah.
working on.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know anything about that, honestly.
So all I really know about it is same idea. It's built on a client that's supposed to be more secure to keep the hackers out.
Mhm.
So separate of the actual Steam network. I don't know the best way to say it. Like I don't know. Have you played anything on BO3 PC on Steam?
Yeah, yeah, not like public matches or anything, just solo.
So public matches in multiplayer especially, but it can happen in zombies, are atrocious.
Yeah.
You cannot get in a lobby without at least 3 or 4 hackers.
Huh.
It's terrible. Like it's bad, and you look at and I think that's why, at least my opinion, me personally, why I'm disappointed and why I think a lot of people are disappointed, because it's like we are trying to help you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Modders are helping you sell your game, your 10-year-old game that's still a really cool game, but has been destroyed by hackers and people that just like messing with other people, memers. And you have these community of people that work for free. They didn't ask for any money.
Yeah.
If they were asking for money, I could honestly understand, like, hey, you can't do that with our property,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I don't have I don't have the original Modern Warfare 2, but I would have bought it for this.
Definitely. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so would I.
So I guess I just feel like I don't think they'll see it right now, and it probably won't be a big enough backlash in general to worry about for them. But down the line, I think you're gonna see people choose something else.
Mhm.
Like people are gonna stop giving money to Activision eventually. Hopefully, I hope they do.
I don't know, man. There's just too many people that like buy those anime like cat girl bundles in like Modern Warfare. Billy gets off work one day, hops on Call of Duty. Oh, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna buy that. Yeah.
Oh, the new anime bundle dropped, man.
Yeah.
Get it, dude.
Filthy casuals. No, it's yeah.
So, so you think that the Fortnite effect is what we'll call it is more powerful?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Ever since Fortnite came out, Fortnite is just the spawn of Satan in the gaming industry. Let's be honest.
No, you're not wrong. It is.
Side note, I have never hated a game in my entire life more than Fortnite. And I've been playing through Elden Ring recently and raging my tits off. But you know, Fortnite, however, back in the day, oh man, that was yeah, ugh, an eye
So
roller.
like, so I mean, we're getting off on a different topic
Yeah.
here, and we can shut it down. But the last thing I'll say about it is, I feel like, especially for the zombies community, which you and I are both from and know pretty well, all the people, you know, the mentality. Yep, look at that background.
Yeah.
um, you go from giving the best DLC ever created, in my opinion, which is Zombie Chronicles.
Yeah.
Such an amazing remaster, just perfectly done,
Mhm.
amazing, like perfect. They dropped it on the community like a bombshell. You know, the community exploded again. Amazing, crazy. They're giving us lackluster games, like, and you know, whether you like them or not. You know, the community hated Black Ops 4. They hated World War 2. They were okay with, I think, most of Infinite Warfare. You know, hate Vanguard zombies. I think Cold War zombies is pretty mixed, as far as most people would be concerned.
Mhm.
But you just keep giving us trash. Like the zombies community was one of the biggest communities on, I'll say on YouTube because that's what I knew, but I think online, like the zombies community was huge because they gave such amazing product for such a reasonable amount of money. I would say for, you know, $15 for another map that you play 300 times or whatever. You know, that's a pretty good. It's a pretty good deal for you, and it's a good deal for them. But I don't know. I just think that I really want something comparable to zombies, and I don't think that will happen. I want something comparable to zombies to come and to take the zombies community back to another game and stop buying. We're never going to shut all of it down, but stop buying crap from Activision. That's what I really want.
Yeah, me too. They need to put all of their resources into something that will keep their games alive because honestly, like this whole annual release cycle is the reason why all of those old games are unplayable now is because they keep leaving them in the dust and they gotta keep up with the times and hop on trends because if they don't, apparently they think that their ship will sink immediately. So
Well, and I think. Oh, sorry. Go. Sorry.
no, man, go ahead.
I think that, like you were going back to the leadership of Activision, you know, I'm assuming that the CEO gets a big bonus depending on how much they make. You know, I'm assuming they get a cut of that, which I'm pretty sure is true.
Hmm.
So, you know, they cut corners wherever they can. They give us a lackluster product year after year because people are going to buy Call of Duty. You know, like you said, Billy comes home from work or school and just wants to play Call of Duty and get his anime cat ears and everything.
Hmm.
Get his anime operator. But, you know, I would like to see, like, I wish that we could get a CEO that was actually a gamer.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like, get a gamer as a CEO of Activision. It will never happen, but yeah. And the last thing I'll say is, never mind. I lost my train of thought. I was going off on a tangent.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Call of Duty is I have a lot to say about Call of Duty. But it's just not where it needs to be, and it hasn't been for quite a few years now. I don't think, even though it is making more and more money than ever, supposedly. Yeah, it's just not where I think like the hardcore player base, the players that literally built the franchise, the players that made Activision who they are. You know, they just don't care about that. They care about what can get them a quick buck.
Yeah, my thought train came back to the station. I think Black Ops 3 and the modding community that has, you know, kept Black Ops 3 alive is proof that you don't have to recreate Call of Duty every year. You could, map out a Call of Duty for a 5-year lifespan. Fill it with content for 5 years. Like, I feel like, and maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but you could, you could still make improvements to the engine and stuff and all this stuff. You could make improvements, but you wouldn't have to. I mean, I know why, because they wouldn't make as much money every, $60 guaranteed from 10 million people or whatever. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I feel like for yeah, I don't know. It's not gonna happen, so I should stop complaining about it. But
Yeah.
Black Ops 3, my last point, I'll reiterate, Black Ops 3 is proof that it could work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, and like they've even tried to do that kind of with like Black Ops 4. There was supposedly like a year 2 season pass that never happened, and then literally this year with Modern Warfare 2, Roman numeral 2, not 2. They supposedly there was supposed to be a year 2 for that game, and now Sledgehammer has to make Modern Warfare 3 at the end of the year, so that's out the window. No more year 2 for Modern Warfare 2, so it's just whatever, I guess.
Just pump out another baby. That's all it is.
Yep.
Give birth to another child.
Jeez, man. It's like I don't know if this is an inappropriate comparison, but I think of Call of Duty games as like a human centipede. They're just like they feed into each other, and when one is finished, they just destroy the previous one. That's yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
could keep going with that metaphor, but I'll
yeah.
stop. But
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like it went from Call of Duty being about, actually about the gameplay, the movement, all the stuff they claim every year, new movement, all this stuff. Oh man, new game, new gunplay, all this stuff. Like it's the same thing every year. It went from giving actual improvements to just another. It's just another thing. Like I don't know of any actual differences between like Warzone 1 and Warzone 2.0.
I could think of a lot of them. They are okay. If you really want to get into this, Warzone 2 is like, okay. Warzone 1 spent all this time building up and added a ton of stuff, and now when they launch Warzone 2, there's nothing there. It's bare and it's broken like every other AAA game that releases these days. So, you got, of course, Dr. Disrespect making fun of it, which is the only good thing that come out of Warzone 2, in my opinion. That's, just clowning on the game. So now, what is it, like 6, 7, 8 months down the line into the Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2 life cycle, it's like halfway to what Warzone 1 was. They just like regressed tremendously in the supposed sequel to like their golden egg from the last few years, and like they just changed a bunch of stuff that did not need to be changed, and it's just like Call of Duty is just so out of touch these days, and this whole SM2 thing is like a shining light of that, and especially Warzone 2. Oh yeah, and now DMZ is like pay to win, because you can get like buffs from shop bundles when you buy specific skins. So, I mean, it's just pay for convenience, right?
Yeah.
It's not pay to win.
It's not pay to win. It's pay to just win a little faster and a little it makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
Pay for advantage.
I'll tell you what is an advantage for free: not buying the game. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Stop giving money to Activision. That's the only thing I can say at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I made the mistake of buying Vanguard. Do you ask me how? Okay, I want to see if you can guess how many times I actually played the game. 'Cause I know off the top of my head how many times I loaded it up.
Once?
Two.
Twice?
times.
Really? How like
I paid $30. I paid $30 each time I loaded up this game, and I will never touch it again. There's absolutely no reason to go to it.
no, I bought it for like $20 when it was on sale after like, around like December or January just to try out zombies. I was bored and there's nothing. It's more barren than like COD 4 from 2007. There's just nothing to do. There's nothing. I I cannot name a video game where I feel more emptiness in than Call of Duty Vanguard. Not even just talking about zombies, like multiplayer, like people say it's fun or whatever, but like some of the maps are like remakes, which is another Call of Duty problem. Like just a bunch of remakes, but that's another thing. So, and then like weapons take forever. I don't want to go through all that, and this, yeah. So Vanguard was rightfully left in the dust, and after giving Sledgehammer a little break, now they got to make a whole game in however much amount of time that they've had. So that's gonna end up probably like Cold War or worse, I think.
Yeah, it just like okay, so I played about 2 hours of the campaign. It was boring. It's just boring.
Yeah.
And I played about 20 to 30 minutes of zombies and felt exactly the same way. There's nothing to do.
Yep.
It really, literally, it's just a camo grind. That's all it is.
Oh yeah.
That was its only function for the game.
It's,
And that's all
yeah.
anyone used it for.
For Warzone. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's all about Warzone.
Yes, it is.
Which, if Warzone was still good, like it started out being, it would be okay. That would be, it would be acceptable. I would hate it, but it would be acceptable. But like you said, it's broken. Like you can't do anything. I saw this funny clip yesterday. I think it was Charlie Intel. I can't confirm if it was, but I think it was. They got one of the little, and it's new. I got killed by it once, but I've never actually found one. The bomb drone.
Oh.
And whoever this person was, they flew their drone into there was an oncoming car with a squad in it, and he flew it into the squad, and it didn't kill the squad in the car, it killed him.
Really?
It was like 100 yards away. Yeah.
Huh.
broken freaking ass game.
That's modern Call of Duty for you.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even play the campaign in Vanguard. I just heard that like it's just kind of bland. And then what they did to Warzone 1, like after Warzone 2 came out, like there's like 2 game modes in Warzone 1 now. Like you have to play either solos or quads. That's it. And then like all of like the slots where you choose game modes are just all like go play Modern Warfare 2 or Warzone 2. Download now. It's just they just want you to forget about that game. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It all went downhill at some point, and I'm not sure where.
It's so hard to tell, man, because it's the Call of Duty franchise is like, it's like my blood sugar, right? It has peaks and it has tremendous valleys, and you never know when it's gonna happen. So it's like you have the peak of like what game was it? Like the end of World War II. Yeah, the end of World War II, and then like that space between like the end of World War II and the beginning of Black Ops 4, that whole like hype period right there was so awesome, and then Black Ops 4 launches, and then Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to tell because you have something like supply drops in like decent games, and then that's a valley. But also you have zombies, which is a peak, and it's just this whole mess that now it seems like it's all valleys, except for like Cold War zombies. I think that's like the only decent thing in the past few years that I can recall that Call of Duty has done.
Yeah. So what would you say if I was gonna say if I said what would you say was the most recent Call of Duty game that actually did what a Call of Duty should, actually had a decent launch, and was actually enjoyable? What would that be for you?
Okay, a decent launch. I'm gonna have to go back quite a few years here. Um, uh,
I'll put it differently. What is the most recent Call of Duty game that you would say was actually a good game?
I would say Cold War. Cold War. I think multiplayer sucked in that game. That was the worst multiplayer experience I've ever had in my entire life out of any game. Even Fortnite, by the way. It's just I'm never playing that multiplayer again. But zombies and campaign were fantastic. Yeah, that's what I would say. At the launch of Cold War Zombies, like it brought the community together and more, and that was really awesome to see. Like Tfue and all these other streamers go for high rounds on D Machine. It was nice to see some new faces pick up the controller on Zombies.
Yeah.
What about you?
I I didn't hate Cold War Zombies,
Hmm.
but I didn't love it either. And I will agree with you. It was, I would say, the best, most decent launch we've had recently. But I
Hmm.
also feel like, personally, they stripped the soul and the core out of the mode
Oh yeah.
by doing one simple thing, and that's putting operators in with no actual like voiced quote. I mean, they have voiced quotes, but you know what I mean. Like no like interactable quotes.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm probably just a little bit of a purist in that I like I like the original crew, and I like the Ether storyline, and but it's not even that. Like Infinite Warfare has, they have a crew that you play as. You know, World War II has, I guess they kind of have operator system too, but they have a crew you can play as. All these things. I personally just feel like they stripped the soul from the game mode. They still had a story, which was good. It was a good story. They're trying to explain, what happens after the zombies we know, which is good. But I just feel like the soul was kind of gone there for me. So I would say, honestly, I would probably have to say Infinite Warfare. No, World War II.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, honestly. Before I, yeah.
So, yeah, I would say World War II. World War II, I enjoyed World War II.
Hmm.
Not just for the zombies. Like I enjoyed all of it.
Oh yeah, yeah, me too. I still play the multiplayer a little bit here and there. I do you I think it was the first time we played D Machine together. It was me, you, and Skull Basher, and he was downing constantly. He downed like 45 times in our match, and that that was like one of the most hilarious matches I've ever had. I will always remember that match. By the way, that was such a fun one.
I remember it well.
Oh
I do
yeah.
remember it well. Yeah, I remember a lot of Skull Basher swearing going on. Just that sigh, that deep sigh.
Yeah. The pain sigh. The iconic pain sigh.
Skull Basher.
Oh yeah.
Name something more iconic than Skull Basher 935.
Uh,
Can't, can't, man.
I can name something that's kind of up there. My friend wears sunglasses indoors. His name is Maul. He's one of the coolest guys ever because of it. So yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah,
I'll believe you on that one.
believe it. But yeah.
What we need to do for we need to have a special, maybe on like our 25th or our 50th episode or something.
Hmm.
We need to have a Skull Basher 935 and a Fall Guys crossover.
I know, right? I've been meaning to play Fall Guys with him again, but yeah, we're gonna have to do that. Oh yeah, that would
See,
be
what
awesome.
I think we should do with our guests
Hmm.
is like I talk to them obviously, but I think we should put them in a game, and we should play a game with them. I think that'd be a lot of fun
Yeah.
if we can
Hmm.
make it happen.
Oh yeah. There's there's also someone else that I want to bring back for a Fall Guys reunion if that ever happens.
Is it who I think you're gonna say?
Yeah.
We'd have to, he'd have to get ungrounded first.
Yeah. Oh my
We
lord.
gotta find him.
So, for those who don't know, we had this like little group of people that we played Fall Guys with, and one of them was this 11-year-old kid named AJ. He was he was he was a little kid, so he was very funny. Yeah, and then he just kind of like removed us all at one point and just kind of ghosted us. So, but yeah, he's still on like my like PlayStation message list though, so I could still message him and stuff. So I'd have to
You
see
should
about that.
honestly, you should message him and see if we can bring him back.
Oh yeah, it's been like 2 years now, so
That
hopefully
would
he's
be
changed his mind around or something.
that would be amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's something that has always, as people, you and I who have done a lot on the internet, playing games and getting into matches and lobbies and just randomly finding these random kids like that. Do you ever feel weird?
Feel
Do you ever
weird.
feel like why am I playing this game with this 8-year-old kid? Have you ever felt like that?
um, I've kind of had the opposite effect where like I have a specific example where this guy I was playing the giant with on Black Ops 3 public matches, and he's like this like old guy with a very like scratchy voice because he smoked a lot of cigarettes, and
Yeah.
he like one time okay, so like we're on the catwalk camping, shooting all the zombies, and then at one point he just stops moving, and he's still talking to me like he's still there. And so, and then eventually, I hear the sound of water going into more water while he's still talking to me. And I'm like, is he. He's not doing what I think he is, right? So like at that point I was like, why am I playing with this guy? So I'm like, all right, sorry, my mom's home. She has groceries. I have to go help her buy, and then I just leave that guy.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've had very strange encounters with people online, but I don't know. Never was I like, this is like kind of strange that I'm playing with like AJ, because I don't know. I think he's just like so like charismatic, I guess, that like it didn't really bother me that much. Um, although Skull Basher though, God, Skull Basher hated that kid from what I remember.
Oh man, he gave him so much crap.
Yeah,
Do you think AJ left because he got so much crap in general? Like we just made fun of the kid 24/7.
that's actually what he told me. He said that we were making fun of him so much, so he just left, or that we were picking on him so much, so he just left us.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then
Oh, that's bad.
yeah,
I feel bad now.
that was the last thing that I heard from him. So, but yeah, I'll have to see what he
Um,
thinks now.
as you were, yeah, we should honestly, we should try to get him back, and we should be like, look, dude, we're so sorry. We want to bring you on our podcast.
Hmm.
We want to we just want to chat with you, see where you're at.
Yeah.
Want to play some games with you. We want to bring you back into the fold. Like we're sorry we made fun of you if that's why you quit. Sorry you got grounded, whatever it is. But as you were telling your story with the older gentleman,
Yeah.
it reminded me of one of my favorite gaming stories of all time.
Hmm.
Me and my best friend growing up, his name was Mark,
Hmm.
and we would play, and my older brother, we found a free to play game, which back then was unheard of. Now it's,
Yeah,
that's all you get now. It was called America's Army. Have you ever heard of America's Army?
I have not.
So and this is old. My age is showing here. This was an old game built by maybe I shouldn't say confirmed, but what I understand is it was built by the United States Army to make the military look cool. It was used as a recruiting device.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I need to double check. Maybe I shouldn't be saying it without checking, but I'm like 90% sure.
Hmm.
But we went to a booth. It was like an army booth, and we got like free swag, and they were giving out this game. And it was called America's Army, and it was Call of Duty level. If not, I would say I enjoyed it a little more than I have Call of Duty in general. The multiplayer was really fun,
Hmm.
but we being we were probably like AJ's age, 12, 13, I don't know, that
Hmm.
age range. And we found this game and we had so much fun on it. And there was this guy, and I still remember his name. It was Gunner XX, and he will forever be stuck in my brain as one of the funniest things that's ever happened. Now, on America's Army, there was a pretty, I would say for the time, advanced um, friendly fire prevention system. And that I think if you killed too many of your teammates in the same match, you would just get ejected. And so what we did is we had kind of been messing around with this guy like stupid kids do. And I jumped in front of him, and he was sniping, and I timed it just right. I jumped in front of him and I laid down, and so he shot me instantly, and I died. And it was like, do you want to report him, yes or no? Well, I didn't push anything. And then
Uh-huh.
my friend, he did the same thing right after that. And and we both, I think at the same time, we both pushed to report him or to kick him or something like that. And I just remember him typing out, you bleepity bleepity bleep 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 bleep, just so many like asterisk out stuff, like bleeped out stuff in the chat. You mother kids, like get off this game.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even playing this game? You stupid kids, you're 12, aren't you? And he was right. But it
Uh-huh.
was the funniest thing, dude. We laughed, and I still laugh about it today. We laughed for hours and hours, and we never got that reaction out of anyone else, but it's
Hmm.
still to this day, it was the funniest thing I think I've ever done on a game.
That's hilarious.
It was so funny. I'll have to see if I can find some clips of the actual game and send it to you.
Okay. I have a I have a similar experience on the Fortnite actually with team killing. So back back when Fortnite first came out, you could team kill people, and
I remember.
oh yeah, and I kind of formed this small group that I would play. Like 5 or 6 people that I would play. Rotate around in players, and one of them was like Mexican Spanish guy named Carlos. He was very very loud, and his mic must have been turned up like all the way because you could hear his family arguing in the background, or like he had like a barbecue going on. You could hear everyone grilling up the steaks or whatever. He but like one day, we were in a confrontation with another team in the game, and we were shooting them, and then like one of us ends up shooting each other, and that just snowballed into a just avalanche of team killing and just rivalries between the both of us for like weeks. Like we would literally join each other just to try to team kill each other because we just hated each other so much because of that one thing. And like this was back when like okay, so like there was this like game mechanic where you could do like a double pump shotgun thing where you have two pump shotguns, and you can rotate in between them and fire like an automatic shotgun without having to pump the that part of it. So
Yeah.
so like one day he was getting mad at me because I was using that on him, and then he just like muted me, and I'm like so like I was messaging him, you mother, turn your mic back on, just just a bunch of vulgar stuff. And then he's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna unmute you just to say F you, dude. And then he leaves the game and blocks me. So like, just one of the most just weird encounters I've had online,
And
definitely.
that was it, huh?
Oh
No
yeah,
more.
that was
No more
it.
Carlos, huh?
No more Carlos, no.
Wow. That's funny. That's a yeah. I would say that's like a really, it's a really common thing. I think in gaming to lose, not like real friendships, because most of the friendships you make online are just not imaginary people, but people out there you'll never meet.
Hmm.
Losing, like little rivalries cost so many friendships online.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's honestly, if you think about it, funny.
Hmm. Yeah,
I think it is.
definitely.
So now that you brought up Fortnite, do you wish you could go back to? Oh, would you? All right, let me ask it a better way. Would you go back to OG Fortnite days and play?
Do you mean like in
Like if you
terms
had the
of
choice to go back to original Fortnite, like season one, would you do it?
like like right now, like replace like current Fortnite with past Fortnite?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
and you'd play.
maybe. I think so. I think it was I haven't played it in like a year or two maybe. So I don't really know how it is now, but last I did it was like they just had a ton of stuff and I just didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, it was like day one Fortnite Battle Royale was so much fun. It was so much fun. And then like a month in I started smashing controllers and punching holes in the wall, but you know, that is what it is. But yeah, day one Fortnite, like some of those memories just will not go away because like they were just so much fun.
Yeah, see, oh man, I honestly loved day one Fortnite. Like, I would say up to season three when they really started changing stuff. It was really fun. Like, I liked that it was a battle royale, and I had played like what's the other big one that everyone played before that?
H1Z1, PUBG.
H1Z1 and then PUBG. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I didn't like PUBG. Like PUBG was too sweaty for me. But I
Hmm.
liked that Fortnite was a little more laid back. Like you could kind of just hang out. And I honestly I thought that the gun play on it was really well done. Like I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah.
Original Fortnite was so good, but we also, like we said earlier, it is the spawn of all evil in gaming, and it ruined everything that came after it.
Yeah. I think that like the worst part of like Fortnite's gameplay though, like on its well rise or downfall depending on how you look at it, is that people started to get so good at building that
Yep.
I just could
Oh
not
yeah.
keep up with anybody at all. Like I have this like one friend who like still plays a lot of Fortnite and stuff, and I'm like looking at what he's doing, and all you hear is just click 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 click, click on his keyboard, and like his screen is just going crazy. Like I just building this like 30-foot tower in a second, and I'm like okay. I think I'm done with that game. I'm not gonna play
Yep.
that. But there is a no build mode. I did try it. That was pretty fun, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the no build mode goes back to what Fortnite was originally like.
Mhm.
Because I'm the same way. Like when people started building their 4x4s in under a second,
Yeah.
like I didn't. There's no way I stood a chance against that.
Mhm.
I actually played with my nephews a little bit. I don't know, like season 9 or whatever, before they reverted and went back to season 1 or whatever. I don't know what they did.
Mhm.
They've done some weird stuff. But a couple of years ago, I played a lot with my nephews, and they were that way, dude. They were so sweaty on controller, like they could build like crazy.
Mhm.
And I have never felt like more of a, for a lack of a better term, a boomer, like a boomer gamer,
Yeah.
than playing Fortnite with my two nephews, and like ages like I don't know, 13 and 11 or whatever,
Mhm.
and just being such a hindrance to them. Like I never thought I would be that guy because I'm decent at most video games, but that was me, dude.
Mhm.
I like felt so out of place, and I was just like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like I died immediately, and they carried me, and they ended up winning the trios we were in.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, God forbid I have a kid or something and he's better at zombies than me. That would be like the day that
never
I'm like,
happened. Never happened.
I'm like, okay, was I even good at this game at all? Yeah, a lot of memories on Fortnite. Definitely one of the games that I hate the most, but I just have so much. I had, for as much as I hated it, I had an equal as amount of fun on it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like Fortnite, it did a couple of things for gaming. Like it probably is the best, well, one of the best known games, like in far as far as people recognize. Like I remember back when Fortnite was huge, like news stations would play like clips of Fortnite or whatever. You know, they were always talking about Fortnite. Fortnite. This mom hates Fortnite because her son spent $2,000 on skins or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
it got a lot of negative press, and I think it did give some negative stereotypes to gamers. It also, like, I think it did a lot of good for the gaming community because it got gaming out there a little more. Like when Ninja was, you can say when Ninja was good or however you want to say it, and
mhm,
like whether you like Ninja or not, like you can't deny that it was really good for like gaming and esports and that type of stuff. But it also, I think, created its own, well, gaming's own worst enemy, which is the normalization of microtransactions.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also in a way, I think Fortnite also had a hand to play in getting rid of loot boxes in AAA games as well, because I don't think that there were many after that game. Like I think Call of Duty World War II came out like the same year I think, and like that was the last Call of Duty game to have like well traditional Call of Duty loot boxes anyway. So
Yeah.
then like after Black Ops 4 it was gone in Call of Duty anyway. Then like yeah, that same year, Star Wars Battlefront 2 had loot boxes. They got rid of that. That was mostly due to fan backlash, but still, um, yeah,
Oh, that's true. I hadn't thought of that. That is definitely a positive.
but yeah. Well, when you were talking about like how Fortnite is like being demonized by the media, all I could think about is how like like Call of Duty was like that in like the
Hmm.
early 2010s, and how World of Warcraft was like that in the early
Yeah.
2000s. There's always going to be a game like that that gets massive, and then people are going to jump on it like those games are like Elvis when he debuted. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Evil.
Oh
We've
yeah.
got to we've got to get rid of this evil in our culture. Yeah, I feel like media in general, you can say whichever network or whatever, like they're so fast to jump on video games. Whenever something happens, video games have caused a lot of hate and racism. Well, the racism might be a little true with Call of Duty,
Yeah.
classic Call of Duty lobbies. Let's
Oh yeah.
we'll give that one a maybe a fact check true on that one. But I feel like they're so quick to, and I know why they do it because it gets clicks from all the parents whose kids are playing Call of Duty. And another one I will add is Grand Theft Auto.
Oh yeah.
Grand Theft Auto has been demonized probably more than any other game because I feel like every time there's a shooting and the person is a gamer, they mention that person played Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Get those clicks.
Yep.
So let me ask you this, going
Mm-hmm.
along with that, and I know that this wasn't a planned topic, but I'm curious what you think.
Okay.
Do you think that do you think personally that video games make kids in general or people more violent?
Mm, maybe while they're like playing them, but I don't think it's like a long lasting thing because I think that I would like see like people in like like kind of going along with like like politics, like gun stuff. Like you don't see like a bunch of shootings in like other parts of the world, just here in America. And they blame video games for that here, but those other parts of the world had the same games, but they don't have guns. So I think it's just like a shorter the short term effect, like in the moment kind of thing, not like a long lasting one. Uh, yeah, because like for me personally, I throw a controller out the wall and then that's it. I turn off the game and it doesn't even faze me anymore. What about you?
So I tend to agree with you. Um, I think that yeah, in the moment you're pissed off and you want to throw a controller at the wall and you might yell at your mom or whatever it is. I
Mm-hmm.
think we've all been there. I think we've all done that. Said a few words in front of our mom we're not proud of. Maybe get grounded for a week. I don't know. But I think that like you brought up, you brought up guns, firearms, however you want to say them. I just think that certain things are demonized so fast because they, and by when I say they, I mean the people demonizing media, they know that if they mention this one thing, so video game violence, which is actually, I would have to look up the studies, but it's been disproven in like I think like 15 or 20 like actual scientific studies. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
been scientifically proven to not be true, but it doesn't stop them from using that as a talking point. Like, oh, this guy, like you said, World of Warcraft, and then it was Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty and Fortnite. You just insert a different game title for depending on which the the most popular game of the last 10 years has been. So I would say no. Like I don't think it makes people more violent. I think if that was true, like you said, we would see in other countries, we would see all over the world, there would be so much more violence because I don't know anyone personally. Okay, I know people, but in general, like my friend group, I don't know anyone who hasn't played a shooter game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anyone personally who has shot anyone.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that there would be a lot more violence in general if that was actually true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree on that. It's and like there's like even more people in those other countries like China and like all those I don't know, Asian countries, I guess. They have just so much more people than here in America, that and it still happens more over here. So it's definitely not a video game problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on the video game stuff?
And I don't like, honestly, I think video gaming in general is just in such a tough spot that, there's so many dysfunctional, just poorly made games out there that more than ever, I think it's actually hard to find a good game to spend time on. We've touched on, Elden Ring before, and I was gonna ask you, and I'll still ask you about your experiences with Elden Ring. I saw that you've been playing it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's just gaming is in such a sad place in general, just because of the greediness of um, CEOs in general, of the management of video games.
The man at the top.
Man, I just think that yeah, I mean, we've already said pretty much everything. Screw Activision. Don't buy their products anymore.
Yeah.
But I think we've touched on pretty much everything
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to talk about. It just is really sad to be a gamer nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. But I have been very much enjoying my time on Elden Ring, though.
oh yeah,
Yeah, very, very great game. I have not felt this way about a game since Skyrim. Like, yeah, I haven't beat it yet. I'm maybe 10 hours into it. I just got to Godric.
okay.
Yeah.
Have you
I
beat him yet?
no. I I spent like 3 or 4 hours on the Tree Sentinel when I first got into the game, and I'm just like, f this dude. So I ran away from him finally, and then I came back later, killed him, figured out I couldn't use his weapon until later on. Still can't use it, by the way. Ran away, and then I just continued with everything else. But yeah, it's been fun to have just another game where I can do everything at my own pace. There isn't ads, microtransactions, none at all, which is very refreshing to see. It's just nice to see a good game that is finished and full with just things to do. I cannot wait to actually learn what I'm doing, because I still don't know what I'm doing. I haven't played any other games like it, like any of the Dark Souls games or whatever. So yeah, I feel like I've kind of screwed myself over a few times in it, but I've been having fun with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I played it for, I think I still haven't finished the game.
Hmm.
I get sidetracked on games so easy. I think I've played for around 60 hours and I still am not even close to finishing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great, amazing game though. Definitely deserved game of the year, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The only other thing close I think was God of War. Was it Ragnarok? I think it was
Yeah,
Ragnarok. Yeah.
I didn't play that one.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Like I have the original. I have the other God of War, the first one, and I still haven't beaten that. So
Yeah. Hmm.
I have an issue buying games and finishing them.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that similar issue. Yeah, with God of War, I just didn't. I don't know. God of War is okay, but at one point I'm like, I'm just gonna look up all the cutscenes on YouTube. So I just did that because I just knew that I just wasn't gonna finish it. So yeah.
Well, you'll definitely have to keep us updated on your Elden Ring progress.
Oh yeah, will do. I've been live streaming that whenever I can, on like Fridays or Saturdays on my Riley B channel. So
Yeah.
that's been fun, very fun. I was thinking about making a video series about it, but I just because okay, so when I was thinking about making a series about it, that was when I was going through the Tree Sentinel. I'm like, all right, I'm going to beat him this time, and then the playthrough is going to progress. Then I'm going to start recording, and then 3 or 4 hours go by, and I'm like, all right, never mind. I'm just going to live stream tomorrow. So, so yeah, that's how that ended up.
I think I probably spent close to 6 hours of my 60 hours just on him. 'Cause
Mhm.
I was determined, and I did it.
Yeah.
I ended up beating him at the beginning of the game, but it took
Wow.
6 hours. It took a long time.
Mhm.
I have my old laptop, and it has a issue with one of the fans.
Uh huh.
And randomly, when you go to start it, that's what I heard in the background, and it sounds like you're describing your glucose monitor, and it has like an alarm. It sounds like the police or whatever. This is very similar. Like it's really
Really.
loud. And so when you boot it up, it will run a system error and it will say that one of the fans has failed. And if you don't push, I don't know why it's not like escape or enter. You have to push C, and that's the only button that will turn it off. It will actually start the boot up sequence.
Uh huh.
So, anyways, that's what was going on in the background. I could hear it. My wife was trying to use it in there, and it was doing that. She doesn't know how to turn it off.
That's funny.
But yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, are you ready for my story that I
Oh
hinted at
yeah.
last time?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, I for about 4 years I worked in healthcare, but for about 2 years I worked at this certain um, elderly community, to put it nicely,
Not how I put it last time.
because I guess old folks homes is not politically correct, but I, I always called it the old folks home when I went
Yeah.
there. But anyways, so there were certain so you to work there you had to have a CNA license, so a certified nurse's assistant license,
Mm-hmm.
which took about a month, two, depending on the class you took to get that, which allowed you to work there and you knew how to do basic cares for the elderly population. So there was also at the people that worked there, there were what we called med techs who would go around, and they weren't nurses, but they worked under the nurse's license to go. They got their own certification to be a med tech, and they were other CNAs who were kind of in charge of the night shift, is what I worked. And they would go around and they would give the meds to the elderly people. But there was 2 floors, and each floor had 41 rooms, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, like 80, 82 rooms.
Yeah.
Roughly like 82 rooms, depending on if we had all the rooms filled or not. This is all backstory. And but the med techs would always, there was so much to do, and they went in almost every room. There 82 rooms a night. Almost all of these people needed their meds, so they were always really behind. Well, I walk into this room with this elderly person, and I see the med tech, and he's trying to help this person go to the bathroom. And as I don't know how it escaped my memory when we were talking about the worst jobs we've had. My mind instantly went to my farming job, but it forgot the last 2 years of my life. I don't work there anymore. It forgot all the poop, and I don't know how I forgot all the poop stories. But
Stories
so
plural.
Right. And I walk in, and the med tech, I know he's behind. He's really on top of it, but I know he shouldn't be in that room at that time helping that person, because they're supposed to hand out all the meds, and it was my job to help them go to the bathroom, to help them brush their teeth, to get in bed, and all the things that they do. And so I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, let me take over. Thinking to myself, like, I'm going to be the nice guy here. He shouldn't be having to help this person go to the bathroom because he has to go do this other really important stuff. If they don't get their meds, then it throws an error in the system, and then there's a report that goes to the nurse, and it's a lot of red tape that could be avoided if he is able to do his job at the time he needs to. There's a 15-minute window. So it's a pretty small window. So I'm like, dude, I got this. You go. I'll take care of this. And he had just got her. He had just got this person. I shouldn't say. He had got this person lined up to sit down on the toilet. When I'm like, all right, go, man. And I go to help this person take their pants down, and this is another old person thing. It's not a diaper, it's a brief.
Okay.
And if you call it a diaper, someone will yell at you. I didn't know that at first. I didn't know what else to call it. So I went to take down this person's brief, and the most disgusting, I hope you don't have a weak stomach because this is a graphic story.
No.
The most disgusting black tar looking poop shoots out of this person, down their legs, all over the toilet behind them, splashes onto the ground, onto my shoes, onto my pants. The most disgusting. I don't know why the poop was the color it was. It was the most disgusting, smelly. Like, I dealt with a lot of poop, and this is by far the worst story. Liquid running down the person's legs. It took about 30 to 45 minutes. I was late everywhere else because it took that long to clean this person up, to clean the floor up, to make sure I had got it all off of me. And the thing about this story is it could have been avoided on my part. I was being nice to the med tech because he could have also done it. So and that was the point I wanted to get across. Because I was trying to be nice, I was being the nice guy and letting him go do his job. I had to clean up this disgusting mess, and I got crapped. Literally, I got crapped on.
Oh, that is disgusting, dude.
So I learned from that, let people do their own job. Don't be a nice guy at work. Don't work just above minimum wage and work your butt off just to get crapped on.
That's a good message. Yeah.
Don't I'm telling all the kids out there listening, don't work your butt off for just above minimum wage. You will get crapped on.
Wow.
But all jokes aside, like, it was an amazing job, lots of amazing experiences. The community there, amazing people. but you do deal with a lot of poop. That's the medical field. I don't care
Yeah.
what part of it you're in, you're gonna deal with some poop.
Mhm. I'm just. You know what? Never mind. I don't even want to think about what that person ingested to turn that color, but yeah.
Well, the thing about that color is typically that indicates like a GI or like a stomach tract bleed somewhere.
Hmm.
Like the black inside the blood, if it sits in there long enough, it turns it black. But this person didn't have, to our knowledge, any GI issues. So it's a mystery. We don't know why it was that color, and it was
Wow.
always that way. It was just so much worse this one night.
That's that. Huh. That's strange.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I could tell you stories and stories.
That's
We don't have enough time.
wow. I don't know how to I don't know how to react to that. That's
There's no way to. That's one of those stories that you don't believe it, but man, believe me, it was. I personally, I did not believe it as it was happening because I had never had it. I was still pretty new at that point. I had never had anything happen like that in my life. And I'm just like, and that's all I was thinking is like, why did I tell him to go? I could have walked out of this room. I could have walked out and been doing something else. I could have been done by now.
Nice guys finish last.
That's true, man. Moral of the story.
Yep. That's yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, enough said.
Yeah.
The gross story.
Well, I have a story that is not as gross, but is kind of disturbing in parts. So, in my neighborhood, it was a small town of 200 people or so, and houses all over. But it was two houses right next to each other. Mine, and there was a Christian family next to mine. And one of them was a year older than me. We just became friends because we would like talk like across the fence to each other a lot. And he liked trains a lot and Sonic and like Nintendo games. So like we kind of had that in common. I liked Mario Kart a lot. And then eventually one day our parents both built like a gate in between our backyards so we can like go back and forth as we please. At first this guy was kind of normal. He was kind of normal, we were growing up. He's my first friend. I'm like 7, he's 8, something like that. He went to the same school, and we're kind of like we don't talk to each other like every day, but anyway. So that's kind of the backstory of this guy. He's my first friend. We knew each other pretty much all of our lives, and so the first like near the beginning of like the 7th grade, he was in 8th grade. This is middle school, so. This kid starts to take a turn for the worst, the absolute worst. Like one of the most just down, like the worst downfalls I've ever seen in a person, like personally in my own life. And so we show up to school one day, and he's also a brony at this point. This is like, new knowledge to me. In this part of middle school, and he's like carrying around this toy of a My Little Pony, and this mentally ill kid, who I also have a couple stories about, comes up to him. He snatches the pony from his hand and rips the head off and throws it on the ground and runs away, laughing like a maniac. So my friend is sitting there crying. He doesn't know what to do. He goes to the office and tells him about it. Fast forward a day or so, he doesn't show up to the bus stop anymore, and I'm like, that's kind of strange, right? He must be sick. A couple days a couple more days go by. He doesn't show up again. I my friend who also was like down the street, she's like, you know, a pothead who somehow has all the information. She's like the oracle of the neighborhood, so to speak. So she's telling me about how this guy, my friend, stole his dad's pickup truck and drove it around town at midnight, and then drove it back, and then just parked it for whatever reason. And now he's grounded for it. So I skipped a part actually. So before that, he like had his like head like completely, or no. Oh my god, I'm like messing this up so bad. So after the truck incident, he gets his head shaved like a military buzz cut type haircut, and
Okay.
and also his like backpack is like so messed up that like the bottom of it was like ripped open by a bear or something. So he had to wear it upside down, tape up the bottom with the zippers, and then use duct tape to open and close like the bottom as the top of it. So
Yeah.
so like so his dad, who by the way sits inside and plays Final Fantasy all day, didn't want to get him anything like new school equipment. So for the remainder of the time that I knew him, he was using that terrible backpack and that awful haircut. So a couple more days go by and he's gone again. So I'm like, what's up? What's the deets? Tell me what happened to him. Apparently, she heard from this other pothead that lives in our neighborhood that pothead and my friend had stolen his dad's lawnmower, drove it up the road, and just left it there. He didn't even take it back to his house. He just left it there. And so he comes back home, and now he's supposedly gone for good. He's been sent to live with his crackhead mother in Eastern Washington, and like that was the last that I heard from him, was when he was like, he had his head shaved and his just everything was messed up. So that was, man, like 2016, 2017. Fast forward right before I moved to Arizona, about 2 years ago at this point, a friend of mine is helping me move, and he's like, yo, so before you go, like us like school friends have like this like Discord server where we talk to each other. I'm like, all right, cool. So I get added to it, and then after I have some time when I move here, I'm looking through who's in the server, and I see someone named Say Goodbye with an Anime Fox profile picture. I'm like, say goodbye. Say goodbye? Sonic? Is that him? So I'm asking the people in the server, is this my friend? And they're like, yes, it is. That's him. So I start messaging him. I'm like, dude, we have to call. I need to see if there's been like misinformation spread about you. So I call him up, and he's like, and I'm like, seeing how he's doing. But of course, I want to know if any of those like ridiculous stories are true. And he's like, yeah, I did. And like they like burned all my stuff in the backyard of my dad's house. And I'm like, what? So like, yeah, apparently they like burned all of this kid's stuff before they sent him off to his mom's house. So now he's living at his mom's house with his two other siblings, and he's fixing up junk cars. So fast forward again to about 6-8 months ago. I'm in like a Discord call with some of the people in that Discord server with all my friends, and we're talking about like people from our school and whatnot, and then my first friend gets brought up, and his ex-girlfriend, who is in the call with us, is talking about how he is into vor. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's basically furry cannibalism. So like apparently his ex-girlfriend's sister found this his Twitter account, like his like alt Twitter account, and it's just full of like drawings of like furries eating each other, and he's like reposting this stuff and like in like role playing in like Twitter threads with other people, and like I look at that and I'm like, I didn't message him after that. I didn't talk to him after that. So that's the story of my first friend. That's where it ended. It happened so long ago, so I kind of messed it up a couple times. But yeah, it was just a strange turn of events that someone who like grew up in like a Christian family and who was like so close to like the church and stuff would end up doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have.
Interesting
Oh,
guy.
sorry. I
Nah, go
interrupted.
ahead.
I have one. What's a brony?
Oh, a brony? That's a that's a dude who likes My Little Pony.
Okay, that's
Who
what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
who who watches the shows and collects all of the figures and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. So it went from your best friend to someone you didn't even message.
No. 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 Yeah, kind of a strange turn of events for that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I
kind of unfortunate to be honest because he
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some people I won't say I mean like that in my life because I don't have a story exactly like that, but
Mhm.
some people that like I hear where they're at. Like there was in my school there was this big drug bust and there was a lot of people that got caught up in it. And like I mentioned before, I grew up in a small farming community, very like Christian values all around the place.
Mhm.
And so like most of the people in the school were that way. They upheld Christian values and you didn't have to worry about too much. But there was a group of people and I had a couple of friends in that group that got caught in this big drug bust. And I mean I've seen them around, but I don't know where they're at now. But it just makes you wonder like where all your childhood friends are. Like I remember a couple that we were such good friends
Mhm.
and now I have no idea. Maybe I should look, but like I have no
Yeah.
idea where they're at. It's thought provoking for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of my best friends is actually a pilot now. He's about to go into school for being a passenger plane pilot, I think. So
Okay.
yeah, he grew up on like an airfield, and pretty much flew planes for like the past like 6 7 years. So like with his dad, that's how he got into it. And yeah, now he's off to do his own thing. Pretty proud of him. He's doing good in life. My other friend, however, is living in like a wannabe phase house with like posting videos on Snapchat of him speeding through like the back streets of Washington and smoking a vape and blasting music. There's a an equal balance of that kind
Yeah.
of going on.
Did you say a wannabe phase house?
Yeah, he has like
So sorry.
he yeah, he lives in the house with like a bunch of other kids from our high school who also vape and put all their money into cars. So yeah, they don't do like content creation or anything. They just,
Oh, okay.
I don't know, they just live together, I guess. So
That was gonna be my next question. Is like, do you mean they all like kind of like a Z House type thing? They all live together and create content, but
yeah,
they just drive their cars and vape. Huh?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
saw this thing that content creation or YouTuber is a broad term now, but that's like the number one wanted job of pretty much everyone.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of scary to be honest.
Yeah, seriously. Think about all the people I grew up with and all the um it's a good thing that it hasn't always been that way because me and my friends like shouldn't have and I don't think anyone should have when they were young. Like it just makes me think if that was the driving thing that I wanted when I was 11 10, 12, whatever, like and I know there's a lot of kids that they start so young. They're going to Fortnite camps and they're paying people thousands of dollars to teach them Fortnite. Like, I just, I have thought to myself, I've wondered, like, where would I be if that was like all I had started doing when I was that young? Like, I feel like it takes a lot to obviously make it as a content creator, but also like it takes so much out of you and out of like socializing and social life and like life in general, but as a kid, like that just seems wild to me that that's like what everyone wants to do, and I get it. Like I also, would love to just create content for a living, but it's so hard to do and actually make a dime on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very oversaturated.
For sure. Um and just my last thought on that is, do you do you wish you hadn't, because I've seen interviews of people who are YouTubers, and there's a good amount of them that wish that they had never started it, wish that they had a normal life, but their face is out there so much now that they will never be able to live like that normal life because everyone knows them as like this YouTuber. Have you ever thought to yourself like, I want that or I don't want that? Like, would you rather be famous or not famous, knowing that you'll probably regret it later?
Mm, I don't know. I think it if I like make it to like the notoriety of someone who makes a lot of money, I think that it would be worth it just to have like money to make sure that like my family doesn't have to worry about money again. I think that that kind of triumphs over anything else to do with that,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So my follow-up question, because I know my answer, but so do you think a lot of YouTubers are out of touch with actual reality and like actual people that work really hard for their jobs, work for money?
Oh yeah. Now I saw this one Aiden Ross clip saying that he's baffled that people aren't making $10,000 a month. He thinks that's just like normal. That's like chump change. Is $10,000 a month to him apparently. He just did not believe that people were making less than that. I think that's the only example that comes to mind is that one.
Well, he went to the Brandon Tate Hustlers University, man.
Oh
He
yeah.
knows stuff now.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
he follows around the Andrew Tate like a
or
dog,
Andrew
man.
Tate. I don't know why I said Brandon Tate, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
you knew who I meant.
Hmm.
The most out of touch clip I think I can think of a content creator is the Twitch girl, and I've heard it's a meme. Like, I've heard she's joking, but I still like kind of believe, at least if she doesn't have that mentality, a lot of people do.
Hmm.
Is if you don't have $5,
Oh yeah.
you're sitting here watching a stream and you don't have $5, you shouldn't be watching if you don't have $5 to donate or to buy
Hmm.
a sub.
Yeah.
I think that's the most out of touch thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I've
Hmm.
heard it was satire, but I don't know.
Yeah. There's there's this one just infamous Wings of Redemption quote. He's he's talking to someone in his chat and he says, I okay, F bomb incoming. He says, subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out. And then he bans the guy instantly.
Oh,
So, I mean, like, Wings of Redemption has, like, a track record of saying things like that having to do with money. And I kind of touched on Low Tier God, but he also does that a lot. Also, um, he I'm not even gonna touch on low tier god stuff because he's really racist, but that's another thing. But yeah, just so out of touch. I think like yeah, Aiden Ross is definitely like the one that comes to mind, and that that girl. I still remember one of your live streams you were making fun of her like after
I
that
think I
whole
made fun of her
clip went
every live
viral.
stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more examples of it,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's like you're saying with Aiden Ross, $10,000. Everyone should be making $10,000. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? And I know someone personally that is that way. And they're really good. They're amazing. They're good with money, and they just can't believe that people work for, like, they do have to work.
Mhm.
Like, just get into like real estate or something and sell a couple of houses and like,
Yeah.
boom, there you go.
Just
You're
that
out of
easy.
debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which maybe it is that easy. Like maybe, but there's a lot of steps in between actually starting and doing it.
Mhm.
I know once you're there doing it, once it's your actual chosen career path, sure, it probably isn't that hard to do. But
Yep.
and I would say the same with content creation. Like getting started on it now, it's so much harder to actually make any traction to actually have a video that gets over 100 views per se.
Mhm.
Whereas like people that I'll bring up uh, zombies references because that's all I know is like Noah J456. He has over 5 million subscribers that he's gotten from zombies and other games. Like any video he does, and I would say he doesn't. Not that he doesn't work hard, but he doesn't have to work hard because he has people that just show up for every video.
Mhm.
Yeah. And whereas there's smaller creators that work tirelessly and get like 0 views.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such an interesting lifestyle choice.
And there's also like another side to it that people don't want to talk about. I've heard Asmongold, he got some flack for this talking about this. He said that, which of course makes sense, but nobody wants to admit it, is that if you are unattractive and you show your face, you probably won't get a lot of views. Which is like the hard truth, but like everyone has to deal with that.
It's true.
Mhm.
Go on to Twitch and go into the pools, hot tubs, and
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual category is. And you tell me how many girls are on there, basically undressed all the way, and how
Mhm.
many guys are on there.
Yeah.
And
I've
look at the
never seen a
average
guy.
viewer count.
Yeah.
Look at the average viewer count.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I remember that, and I think too, and maybe I'm thinking of a different quote, so don't quote me on this, but I think he also goes into that. Like, if you're a girl in this industry, you have such a high advantage. Like, you can get so many more views
Mhm.
with zero talent, basically, because I have clicked into some just because I'm interested, and there's zero talent, and there is zero person on screen.
Mhm.
It's a camera pointing at a inflatable pool, and it's the person off screen saying, "Come on, guys, sub. Once we get to 200 subs, then I'll get in the
Oh
pool."
yeah. I saw
And
this.
you can go any one of those right now, and you will probably find at least half of them are doing that.
I saw this one clip that reminds me of exactly that, where this woman just has her arm on the camera and she's shaking it like, yeah, if we get X amount of viewers and X amount of subs, I will step onto the camera, and she does that for hours and never does.
Yep. Yep. There's one person, and I don't know why Twitch recommends, whenever I'm on Twitch watching someone else's stream, it always recommends this person to me. I can't remember the name, but I always know it like when I see it. I'm like, oh, there's that person again. And I'm always interested.
Mhm.
I've started clicking into it just to see if she's actually on screen, like talking to the camera. And I have not once ever seen her on screen. She's always doing exactly what you're saying. She's off screen. She's holding. Here's what you see.
Yeah.
She's holding a towel or something,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, "Come on, guys, let's get this going, so I
Mhm.
can come on the camera."
Yeah.
Every time, I've never once, and I've done it at least 10 times.
Yeah, that's apparently it works somehow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that I got screwed on the the looks department of it. There's a lot of gamers that did.
Yeah, we are one and the same.
But anyways, I kind of got off on a weird tangent there, but um, interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of depressing that, like, I don't know, like, guys, especially my age, you know, in their early 20s, late teens, kind of like fall for that kind of thing a lot.
Well, right. It's it's the whole first half of the show. It's the Activision problem. Like, if people would stop giving money to Activision, they wouldn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But there's such a huge, huge client base. I don't like, for lack of a viewership base for that type of content,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep giving money, which blows me away.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of times in my life I'm like, I want to donate to this person, and I think the most I've ever given was like $10, because, like, I like this person and I like what they're doing, and
Yeah.
I genuinely enjoy their content. But I can't imagine. Maybe I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. The thought, like, the not the thought process, because I know it's like and I'm spacing on the actual term for it, but it's like it's the viewer Andy type of mentality, where, like, oh, this person said my name, can you believe it?
Oh yeah.
Asmongold, or this girl, or Pokimane, or whoever it is, Amaranth, said my name. Like, that is, my biggest accomplishment in life, is this person said my name on one of their streams.
One of these days, there's going to be a movie made about that exact story right there. And it's going to be on par with, like, The Whale, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like a super depressing, sad movie where this guy sits behind a screen and then, Amaranth says my name. She's my girlfriend. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, I need to go there right now and talk to her. And then goes there and gets a hotel right across the street from her house, and then that whole situation unfolds. Which, by the way, they're kind of going back to the whole money situation. Is that, like, I saw this one story about this OnlyFans girl, and she was on TikTok talking about how someone was paying her thousands of dollars for, like, custom videos, and for those who don't know, this is like explicit X-rated content, right? So there's this person asking for custom videos. I don't know, like what it is, but so, and then she realizes that, like, this person with, like, the same username followed her on TikTok, and that on TikTok it says in my contacts on this person's account. So she's like, who could this be? And then she goes down the roster, and after some, like, digging, she finds out it's her stepdad that has been in her life since she was like 11 or 12 years old. And her stepdad has been paying her thousands of dollars for custom X-rated videos. And then, of course, her mom, like, divorces the guy, and she posted about it all over on TikTok. It's this whole thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder what that, well, I don't wonder what that felt like, but that's got to be one of the most horrifying and surreal moments,
I know.
like, discovering that.
Wow.
Because,
Yeah.
like, if they're paying thousands of dollars for that, behind the scenes, they've been thinking it since, that whole time, which is disgusting.
Yeah. Definitely.
I thought it's a parasocial relationship. I finally thought of the word, but
Oh, yeah.
just parasocial relationships in general are such a plague in today's culture.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought your thought of, like The Whale, like, somebody, they said my name and go get a hotel across from. Well, that's happened.
Oh, yeah.
I think it happened to Amaranth.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's why you were mentioning that, but
Yeah.
she has had I know, especially her, because she's one of the more popular ones. She's had several stalkers that, they think that, and it's such a, I mean, I don't know as I go as far, I'm not qualified professional, but to me, it seems like a mental illness. Like you need that person's affirmation so much that you pay thousands of dollars to them. And then you think, because you're used to this transaction of I pay money and they say my name, which gets me all excited and happy. And like, this person said my name, I'm euphoric.
Mm-hmm.
It's a release of chemical in the body that like it just like it feels good. You get this recognition and this person likes me, and and I have a personal story that like kind of is like I kind of get it, but I wonder if at some point it will be like actually classified as some sort of mental illness, like if it will ever actually be recognized for what it is.
Yeah, maybe.
I my story is I remember, and this happened years ago. It was probably around Black Ops 4 time, and I, for whatever reason, I saw this person on Twitter asking a question about zombies and the zombie storyline, and which I'm kind of a nerd about. And I think I said something like I answered the question, and like I think I said something like, "Hey, like if you have any questions, let me know," or whatever. But this is the answer. And Mr. Awful Waffles commented and said, "Hi guys, I think my name back then was Calhoun92 here, and this is a zombies video or zombie. Welcome to my zombie storyline video." And it was just funny coming from Mr. Awful Waffles because, that's his thing. "Hi guys, Mr. Awful Waffles here. Today we're gonna talk about XYZ or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
But when it happened, I was like such a fanboy of anything zombies. Still am, honestly, but and it was like such a euphoric thing, like, oh my gosh, Mr. Raffle Waffles commented on something I said, like, wow. So
Yeah.
my point of that is like I kind of get it, to where it's like it's such a driving force in their life to get that recognition or affirmation, however you want to say it. So,
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it's just kind of like the people that like go to lengths to like pay these people like thousands of dollars and just even go in person are like just chronically online people that don't do anything outside of it. It's kind of depressing.
Yeah. No, I think it really is, and I think it is. Like I said, I don't know if it'll ever be classified as that, but I would say personally, like in our generation, the younger generation, and maybe worse in the next generation, I don't know. Like it's a serious issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So go touch grass, kids.
Yeah.
Get off Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. Play Elden Ring and then touch grass.
Yes, there you go. You'll want to go touch grass.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
I feel like I've exhausted myself enough already.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of tangents this episode.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I hated on Activision enough.
Mm-hmm. We got you to hate on Star Wars last episode. What else can we have you
There's
act
a
a
lot.
fool
There's
about?
a lot I hate, man. Could have a whole series on me just talking about things I hate in media. It's a long list.
Oh yeah. Well, if that's where you want to end it, we can go ahead and do that.
I don't think our listeners can stand any more of my tangents. So, yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Well, thank you all for watching and listening.
Yeah.
It's been a great episode. I've had a lot of fun doing this.
Same.
And yeah, we'll see you next week.